Okay, so now that we have the pattern pieces laid out and marked, you can actually see, so I've got both here. I did go ahead and go back and make some Sharpie marks on it because it's just way easier to see and find. So you can see this is the one for the center seam. I use little triangles. Anyway, so the first thing you're gonna do, this is a little fiddly, especially if your sewing machine is cranky. So you've got wrong sides, or I'm sorry, right sides facing together. You can see here. And you're gonna pick up one of those pieces. So then you've got a right side up. And the side that has the greater arc is the side that has the elastic straps on them. And so these marks are those where those go. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to find anything other than elastic cord for beading. So instead, so it's really hard to get this to stay sewing it. So the way that I'm doing the work around is I've actually tied the end into 2 knots. So I'll do it for you here again. Hopefully it won't lose focus too much. So I did 1 knot. This is not easy to do with gloves on. So 1 knot, and then you want to pull it pretty tight. These pieces of elastic, if you're using the kits, they're about 9.5 inches long. So yeah, as per the original instructions. So then I'm going to do a second one just to ensure that it doesn't come out, because these things are probably going to get washed a whole ton. So, and then I want to pull it really tight. So the key is to make sure that this anchors it into the seam. And so hopefully you won't have them falling out at all. So, all right, so this is, so you're basically going to sew this inside the seam that's going to go around here. So my sewing machine didn't like it when I tried to sew directly on the knot. I couldn't get it past the thing without making a huge mess. So out of efficiency's sake, I think it's fine to do, to just pin it so it's actually sitting outside the seam. That way, the seam will go there and then it'll just pull against it. So you're probably going to want to leave the pin in while you sew. I'm going to see if I can zoom in here. No, actually I can't. I've got gloves on. So I actually do this little I'll show you the method. So then you have less chance of it picking up, hitting the sewing machine. So I put it like that when I pin this piece down. The other thing you can do, which works awesome because I did it earlier, is to use masking tape. So, and you can just mask it on this side, and then when you go to take out the, when you turn the seam, you can just rip off the masking tape. So, but this is the way to do it without masking tape. Masking tape made it way easier. So if you have some, I would recommend using it. Masking tape is good because it rips. You could also use painter's tape, which is technically masking tape, I guess. But anyway, okay, so I'm pinning this on like so. And so you can see here, and these are will move pretty easily in here, so you can position them exactly what works for you. My first one, I positioned them down like this, and I did a couple of stitches into the fabric to anchor the knot, but I think that's too fiddly for what we're trying to do. Okay, so then you're going to take your other piece and put it right side down on top of here, and you're going to match up the spots where you have the cord. And then pin it. So matching up these ends here. Pinning it. All right, so this is what you have ready to get sewn. And you're actually going to sew around this edge here. We will get to this edge, but not right now. Yeah, so you'll do the same thing with your other half. And next I'll take you to the sewing machine so you can just see what I'm gonna do there. But you can see, I'll hold these up. So you can see. There's that one, and there's that one. So once it's in the seam, we'll be able to pull on this and it won't come out, especially if you reinforce it, how much I would recommend reinforcing it. So, cool. All right, see you at the sewing machine.